feel good. You know, as we said, we addressed a lot of important needs. We took the best position at the time at those positions. I think we addressed some concerns on offense, also some concerns on defense, and we think we're a better football team today than we were yesterday.
The Ravens' 8 draft picks play 8 different positions, so the Ravens spreading the wealth and filling some needs during the draft weekend. Hello and welcome into Ravens Nest. I'm your host, Brett Harris. Here in Owings Mills, those Ravens rookies will soon be suiting up and looking to make an impact on this Ravens team. Now, coming up on the show, we'll meet a few of those Ravens' recent draft picks as we sit down with offensive lineman Kelechi Osemele, and we'll introduce you to running back Bernard Pierce. Plus, Cam Cameron stops by as we find out how much the Ravens' offense can be helped out by these newest additions. Great insight from the Ravens' offensive coordinator. Last week, we met Ravens' top pick, linebacker Courtney Upshaw, who was selected in the second round, 35th overall. The other second-round pick was Kelechi Osemele, the big offensive lineman from Iowa State, was taken 60th overall. And at 6 feet 5 inches, 333 pounds, Osemele has the versatility to play either guard or tackle.
Strong handshake. They said one of the things that you bring is this tough, mean, physical, this toughness. It starts with the handshake.
I guess so.
It's a good one. Just your first thoughts when you heard your name called.
Shocked, didn't really expect it. Didn't know Baltimore was still going to be taking somebody in that round. Actually, they had 3 in the second round, and I wasn't really aware of, the structure of it all. My agent really was saying that, Lions were a possibility, and that didn't really happen. So, besides that and Kansas City passed and Chicago passed and teams like that, really wasn't sure, what was going to go on or where, the chips were going to fall. So, I was shocked, and then another feeling was just like elation, just a lot of weight lifted off of my shoulders. So.
You hear your name, that's one thing that becomes reality a little bit, but then you show up here, you get to meet the coaches, you're with the other draft picks. What kind of impact has that been?
It's great, it feels good, sitting next to and seeing those other guys like your peers and stuff like that, because you look at them and you know how hard they worked to get to where you were. So, it just feels good, more hard work to be done, and it just feels good to be a part of something. So.
How big is versatility? It's something that has come up when the coaches talk about your game, guard, center, that you can move around.
Versatility is good, especially in the NFL, because you can usually only travel 7 lineman teams, only take 7 guys. So obviously, one of your tackles is going to have to be able to play guard, or a couple of them are going to have to be able to play guard and shift around, especially if a guy goes down. So you have to have depth. And a big part of the game in the NFL, as far as having depth, is not in numbers, it's in guys that have versatility to be able to move around and still be productive.
It seems like a great fit, too, because obviously Ben Grubb's gone free agency, so you have left guard open. Tackles, as you said, always a position that guys can have to fill in. Do you feel like Baltimore was the right situation, just purely on the field?
Yeah, I feel like it was purely on the field because left guard, I've played that, so the fact that that space is open, it's almost like it was just a good fit, for me to land on that team. So.
How about the guys around you as well? Michael Orr or Marshall Yanda, Bryant McKitty. You get some guys that can certainly help you make that transition into the NFL.
Yeah, for sure. Especially Marshall Yanda, the guard that is still here, has been playing for a number of years, multiple Pro Bowls. So it's going to be great to learn from a guy like that. Hopefully he doesn't have any beef, me coming from Iowa State or anything like that. But I expect to learn a lot from those guys, and hopefully they can help me get to where I need to be able to be productive for this team.
As they say, you're all on one team now.
Yeah.
And I would imagine your wardrobe, your family's wardrobe is going to get a lot more purple.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I don't think anybody in my family, besides my mom's favorite color is purple. But other than that, I guess we're going to have to step our purple game up.
It's worked out on every level then.
Yeah.
Well, good. Congratulations. Welcome to Baltimore. It's great having you here.
Thank you.
To recap the Ravens draft, they certainly got balance and versatility. A total of 8 players were selected, 4 from offense, 4 from defense. Linebacker Courtney Upshaw was their top pick. The Ravens also got a pair of offensive linemen that can play several positions in Kelechi Osemele and Gino Gradkowski. They also added running back Bernard Pierce, safety Christian Thompson, quarterback Asa Jackson, and defensive end D'Angelo Tyson. Straight ahead on Ravens Nest, the Ravens selected 2 offensive linemen, a running back and wide receiver. We'll talk with offensive coordinator Cam Cameron and find out how those draft picks will fit in.
Kelechi. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna call him Kelechi. It's Kelechi. He did say Etch.
You're gonna go. It's definitely Etch.
Yeah, Kelechi.
You're just gonna go KO, aren't you?
KO.
When you yell at him in practice.
You got it.
Welcome back to Ravens Nest. Now the Ravens offseason is just about over as rookie camps and OTAs are right around the corner. And the players will be right back on that practice field, getting ready for the season. The Ravens offense last year made several positive steps forward, improving from 22nd in the NFL to 15th, as they averaged 338 yards a game. Offensive coordinator Cam Cameron stops by to talk about some of the newest additions to his group.
We'll start with offensive line Kelechi Osemele, and as Ozzie said, we'll just call him KO. which is the easy thing to do. But he's a great guy to have up there. Your first impressions of KO?
Well, the first time we saw him was a big physical, athletic guy, and fits everything we want to do. Smart, and gives us great versatility. I mean, he can play tackle at Iowa State, but in the Senior Bowl we saw him play guard, which was really great for our evaluation. Andy Moeller and Todd Washington, I thought, did a great job with our scouts. You know, just kind of really pinpointing this guy, saying he's a great fit and gives us great versatility.
Right, and versatility seems to be the theme when you look at Gino Gradkowski, another guy that can play a couple different positions up front.
Yeah, Gino, he played guard, but we were able to see him play. He played 2 full games at Delaware at center, and then played an All-Star game where he strictly played center. And we were able to, we're going through the Delaware tape. Even when he played center, they were in the shotgun 100% of the time. Right. So the first thing you semi-concern is, okay, here's a guy, you know, how easy is it going to be for a 6'6" quarterback like Joe to get underneath the center, because that matters. Right. Then we saw him in the bowl game. He played in an All-Star game where the quarterbacks were underneath the center. So we got a great evaluation on him. Tough kid, athletic. The film, I don't think I saw him he didn't have a bad game the whole season. And so I marvel at our scouts and our assistant coaches going and finding the guy. And who would think, another guy from Delaware?
Yeah, Delaware Blue Hen pride, center to quarterback. Who would have thought that?
Yeah, well, they do a great job over there. They really do. He and Joe, obviously he was a transfer coming in just like Joe. And Casey Keeler, the head coach there, you know, they do a good job with their transfers, and that's a big part of their program.
Talk about the running back from Temple, Bernard Pierce. And just, you had two 1,000-yard seasons, certainly had a great college career. How does he fit in here with the Ravens?
Well, obviously we got a Pro Bowl backfield, and we got two young guys, Anthony Allen, who we really like. And Bernard, I think, is big, he's strong, he's physical. His primary role will be first and second down. I think we'll see him grow as a third down back, just like you saw Ray Rice. You know, Damian Berry as well. Damian was a first and second down back at Miami. All these guys, the biggest adjustment for backs is third down because of all the pass protection stuff they have to learn. The college, we're two different games on third down, college and in the NFL. So third down, there'll be an adjustment, but that's what Ray and Anthony are for. Two really athletic, really smart guys, and then these other guys can learn from them.
All right, Cam, last thing. Tell me what these couple of days of the draft are like for a coach, sitting there in your office, and you have your guys, and offense versus defense. We've heard, you know, sometimes there's a little bit of fun going back and forth, but what's it like?
Well, the work's done actually the last 3 weeks, because you've got to really be open and honest with Ozzie and Eric and our entire staff, and you can't just try to push a guy up the board and be selfish, but you got to be open, you got to be honest, you got to tell them exactly how you feel, and then it's their job to kind of take everybody's thoughts in mind. And I've never been in an organization that can really put a board together at value like Ozzie and Eric. It's truly fun to watch. I get to sit back against the wall and watch John, along with Eric and Ozzie and Steve and Dick and Pat Moriarty. I love the way we set our board. We go for value, we get it stacked right, and when the opportunity presents itself, our guys know how to strike and really get really, really good players. It's a lot of fun.
The Ravens moved up in the draft to grab Bernard Pierce. We'll talk with a running back who has a nose for the end zone as Ravens Nest rolls on.
Ricky Williams retired, so that kind of left the Ravens a little bit light as far as depth at the running back position. You have Ray Rice, your franchise running back. He's going to be here. This by no means is sending a message to him. But other than Ray Rice, Damian Berry is, a kid last year that spent most of the year on the practice squad, didn't even have a carry in the National Football League. So for them to go out and get a guy like Pierce, it says a lot about what he's been able to do. He has a nose for the end zone. This is a guy who's very, very productive and only 3 years at the University of Temple. So get it added depth. He's a little bit bigger, 6 foot, about 220 pounds. Once he gets in the NFL system, he'll probably get another 5 to 8 pounds of muscle. And he's a guy that later on that goal line, much like Willis McGahee was, even though Willis was a little bit bigger, is a guy that could probably pound ahead for that 1 or 2 extra yards, especially down on the goal line.
He is a one-cut runner with some size. Runs very well behind his pads. And that's the style of running game that we're using right now.
What we like about him is there's a burst. There's a change of speed. When he gets to the hole and he's able to clear the defender, we see change of speed, which is what most big-time backs have.
The Ravens traded up in the 3rd round to select running back Bernard Pierce out of Temple. Pierce produced a pair of 1,000-yard seasons, and local fans may remember that afternoon when Pierce ran for 5 touchdowns against the Maryland Terrapins. The Ravens love his knack for scoring, as Pierce punched it into the end zone 53 times in just 3 college seasons.
Welcome to Baltimore, and congratulations on becoming a Raven.
Thank you.
What was your reaction when you got the phone call?
I was ecstatic. I wouldn't even say excitement was the word, I locked everybody out of my room, so I just been by myself on the phone, and it was a great feeling to, that I can finally, do what I love to do and make a living out of it. So it's just an honor to be playing for Coach Harbaugh and all the rest of the coaches here. And I'm excited, I'm ready to go.
I have to imagine too your family's excited because they're just up the road, a couple hours. They can drive in for games. They've got to be really excited for that.
Yeah, the house exploded when they called my name. It's crazy.
Tell me how you fit in to this Ravens team, your style of football.
Well, we ran gap scheme power a lot of the year, so smash mouth, north-south runner. I really I'm not too flashy, I don't do too much. I just try to run north-south and get the tough yards. And the MO of this team is, They were physical, just hit you in the mouth type team, and that's what I'm used to, and that's what I'm ready for.
A couple of 1,000-yard seasons there at Temple. You get here, you're here with the other draft picks too. Well, you got to get excited when you see some of these big offensive linemen that you'll be running behind.
Yeah, I seen they're huge, and I like that. I like that. There's nothing wrong with having somebody that's can pull, somebody that's big, and can run. So that's going to be real exciting.
As you look at this draft class, all these guys coming in really have somebody to turn to learn from. In your case, Ray Rice, who's one of the best in the NFL, how much do you hope to sort of soak in that knowledge and learn from what Ray has learned about being an NFL running back?
That's a must. I have to come in, and before you can do, you have to learn. Mm-hmm. So I really just plan on coming in and being on his hip every day. I want to know everything. I want to know how this works. I want to know what situations, and I want to know formations, plays, everything. I want to know it all. And
you come into a team that was so close to getting to a Super Bowl. You have to feel somewhat fortunate to be in this situation.
Yeah, that a couple fumbles just messed it up, but that's football. It's a very unforgiving sport. But Ravens definitely were inches away. So, I'm just getting anxious and excited just talking about it. I'm ready to get in the field and try to contribute any way possible.
Yeah, I feel like we should find you some pads and take you out there right now.
Yeah,
you can't wait, it looks like.
I'll definitely do it.
Well, congratulations. Great to have you here, and welcome to the Ravens.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now that the NFL draft is in the rearview mirror, what's ahead for the Ravens? Our insider, John Eisenberg, stops by as we continue right here on Ravens Nest.
You can't control what's going to happen, and as long as I'm here, hopefully I'm picking 29, 30, 31, or 32. And then when you watch the board come off the way it did today, to have the ability to go back, acquire another player, and still to get a player that you probably would have taken at your pick is good business for us.
Yeah, I know you've all done your homework, and you studied them as football players, but we've studied them, as football players. Obviously, we think they're a great fit with our team. We think that they fit our personality. They're tough, physical, hard-nosed, rough, tough kind of guys, and they're also, men of high integrity. We think they're very good people. They're guys that care about their family, care about one another, and they're going to be great teammates too.
Well, the Ravens draft is in the books. Our Ravens insider, John Eisenberg, to break it down. Let's start first with the offense, and they get 4 players. What kind of impact? And I guess when you look at that offensive line, the 2 guys they got up front maybe could make the biggest impact on the offensive side.
Definitely. Well, first and foremost, they hope they got a starter out of it. They need a replacement for Ben Grubbs. I think their hope is that Kelechi Osemele, the second-round pick, is that starter. He's a huge guy. They'd like for him to be that. Gino Gradkowski, taken in the 4th round, another good player, I think is in their long-range plans as a center, replacing Matt Burke. But he'll be a guard the first year. So somewhere in there, they're hoping to get a starter, along the offensive line.
At wide receiver, late in this draft, they get Streeter out of Miami. He's tall, fast. He certainly looks like he has some ability that could translate into the NFL.
Well, he could translate is definitely the watchword there. He looks like a steal on paper. 6'5" guy, 4'4", produced at Miami, caught almost 50 balls. What's he doing there in the 6th round is the question. So there is an answer to that question we don't quite have yet. There's a reason why he was there. I think he's very raw. So we'll see. I'm a little skeptical because the Ravens have taken on the 3rd day of the draft a couple of wide receivers the last 2 years, Tandon Doss, definitely David Reed, and they haven't played, so we'll see.
On the defensive side, John, Courtney Upshaw is the team's first pick. Got him in the 2nd round. And interestingly enough, you get a linebacker out of Alabama who looks to replace the linebacker out of Alabama, Jared Johnson, who left free agency.
It's a great pick. Unilaterally, everyone agrees, especially at 35, a total steal. They'll plug him in. I mean, he'll compete with Paul Kruger for a starting spot, and Paul brings some things to the table. I think they'll both play. But I think in the long run, Courtney Upshaw is your player there. really stout run defender. That's what the Ravens are all about, let's face it, defending the run. So you got to like that pick a lot.
John, you can't grade a draft until several years down the line, but overall, as you look at what the Ravens did in this draft, how would you say that they fared?
I would say it's certainly a solid draft. They addressed a number of needs. They needed help on the offensive line. They got it. They needed a number 2 running back. They got it in Bernard Pierce. Maybe some receiver help, some depth in the secondary. So they addressed a lot of needs. And you're right, we won't know for a few years. Just sort of observing them, I think maybe it's not their favorite draft of all time. I think they felt like some players they really liked were taken elsewhere. They said that. So I think they wish they'd gotten a little more out of this draft, but all things being equal, they'll take what they got. They wish they'd gotten a little more.
The Ravens rookies will be hitting the field at the end of the week, getting their first taste of the NFL. Friday, May 11th, kicks off rookie camp here at Owings Mills. And it'll certainly be great to see all those draft picks out on the field in uniform for the very first time. That puts a wrap on this edition of Ravens Nest. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.